Oh my god, so I have a funny story about this. So for those who didn't see my last video, this is in reference to the fact that these are all pictures of moi before I transitioned. Every single one of these, before I started to medically transition, I literally tried to adapt so many different like aesthetics and personas because I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin, and I was hoping that like any single one, I would just find like this one like look or like vibe that would just make me feel okay with being a woman. And plot twist, it never happened. And I'll get people that are like, there's no one right way to be a woman. Clearly I know. I tried them all. Nah, but for real, obviously, like, you can tell by these pictures, like, I just wasn't comfortable in my own skin, like, I just was constantly changing. My friends called me a chameleon, or a shapeshifter. Oh my god, not the fact that this is a POF pic. No, but when I came out, I remember like expecting everybody to be really shocked, and like none of my loved ones were. And I remember one of my aunts, like she was so sweet. She was like, I saw you struggle so much for years trying to like, feel okay with yourself. And like she gave me a little bracelet. It was so sweet. Her and my uncle that like, was kind of like commemorating like me, starting my transition and everything. But like people could tell I was uncomfortable because I was constantly changing how I looked. Okay, so when I was 26, I started my medical transition. I'm 33 now. And I was on testosterone for probably about 3 years, maybe a little under. And my liver started to fail. Probably, I would say like I started having liver issues maybe like 2.5 years in. Because I didn't immediately go off. My liver levels were so high, and I didn't even know anything was going on. I went to the ER for something totally different, like bronchitis or something. But my liver levels were so high, my enzymes, that they thought I had hepatitis. And once I tested negative for that, that's when they started zeroing in on the T, and that definitely was the issue. Through a lot of like trial and error, we did find that it was the testosterone. A lot of people ask me about the side effects, associated with my liver failure on testosterone. I really, didn't have any that I, like, noticed as, like, a direct correlation. However, this is what my face looked like, when I was, having the liver issues. I mean, obviously, I still get a little bit of acne sometimes, but nothing like this. It was cystic. It was, like, very painful, just very inflamed. I have more pictures. I remember being at my dad's house in this photo, and like my face was just so painful. I've never had a doctor like tell me it was related to my liver and being on T, but I definitely think it was, because now not only is my face usually pretty clear, but also I didn't get any scarring or anything. I mean, testosterone definitely can cause acne, but I had been on it at that point for like, like I said, almost 3 years, and I did not have that bad of a breakout until like, oh my god, like when my liver started like going south. But anyways, I've been off T for a long time. My liver is back to normal. But when I was faced with going off testosterone, it was like one of the scariest moments of my life. And to somebody like hearing that is not trans, does not, struggle with gender dysphoria, they might think that that's absolutely asinine to say that like, something like HRT can, be so like life-saving and so instrumental and everything. But when you start to transition and you get access to hormones, it is like finally gaining a sense of freedom that, honestly, I never thought that I'd have. And even though I was like, pretty far in, and all the changes that I was going to have, which honestly were pretty minimal, but any changes that I was going to have probably had already happened by that point. It was still like very disheartening to think like, is everything going to disappear in front of my eyes? Like, is it like, how distressful is this going to be? How is my dysphoria going to be? So that's when I activated my chameleon skills. See, I was at the point where I literally did not even want to leave the house. When my husband and I first started dating, it was like around this time, like in person. I mean, he met me as I am now, but when we first started dating, like, face to face, it was around this time, and I had such bad anxiety, I could not do nearly as much as I can do now. I was in active therapy at the time, still am, but I was then too. And I figured if I detransition and present as a woman, at least people won't hassle me in public. Because they did, quite a bit before when I looked like this. So, I can at least go out in public, even though I'm covered in tattoos and stuff, people still left me alone. And I figured I'll just work on my dysphoria in therapy, and of course that didn't work. It didn't work. But even though it was one of the hardest times in my life, I do still have to compliment my shape-shifting skills. Okay, so I've had top surgery, nobody has to cry, but this is me on June 21st, 2019, okay? June 21st, July 5th, so like 2 weeks later, July 12th, so like a week after that, not even, July 18th, July 22nd, and this is in August, and I'm never not gonna flex about this. Like, I was over 200 pounds at this point. Maybe in this photo I was 199, because that's the lowest I got, I think. Maybe 198, but I was like 200 pounds. Smoking. But I have two photos that really show how insane the transformation was. Hold on. So this is me on May 24th. Same bathroom 2 months later. But since my transformation was like literally so quick and it like my detransition, like it really happened within like really kind of overnight. I mean, I guess if you want to get technical, like the full transformation was probably like 1 to 2 weeks. But I went from looking like a mixture between like Gomez and Uncle Festa with my beard and everything to looking like Morticia, like almost at the drop of a hat. And people were a little confused, obviously. I mean, I was confused. It reminds me of that sound that's like, you're confused? I'm fucking confused, bro. But, I had created a new Facebook because I didn't even want to see pictures of me, like, when I was transitioning, medically transitioning, whatever, because it really made me sad. Not once during my detransition did I ever not consider myself trans. I was always very outspoken that if I found a way to transition without testosterone, like, I was gonna take that shot. And it just brought up so much emotion, like looking at, photos of me when I did have access to tea and like I thought I was gonna like see all these changes and I was really excited, like it really hurt. So I made a new Facebook, which I'm known to do. And I added like all of the people that were on my previous page that knew me as Michael James. And so many people thought that I was Michael's sister. Like my own sister. Like one girl, I got a message from her and she's like, do I know you? Are you Mike's sister or something? Because nobody could fathom that I went from like looking like one way to another way like so quickly. So yeah, I always like to share that story because this scenario literally has happened to me. People think I'm my own sister or brother. It's wild.